part that gets me the most excited as the commentator is this phenomenal pair of Entropiq H1 Pro Gaming headphones. Oh my god, what a set of beautiful headphones these are. That packaging just gives you that feeling, that gorgeous feeling of quality. And that's what you want when you buy yourself something, you know, you invest in some quality products and you feel like you get that quality in turn. So here we go. Is the H1 headphones with the onboard USB sound card as well. And they are incredibly comfortable. I can confirm. Put them on and they are just, they fit like a beautiful pair of gloves. So I think I'm going to keep that around my neck for now. It does come with the extended cable as well, just to make sure that you don't get caught up. And then as I said, they are the 2 different microphones. If I did say, I might not have, but as a commentator.
Welcome back, one and all, to Pinnacle Winter Series number 3. We are heading to our second match of the day after an absolutely brutal first encounter. Entropiq Prague, UNGENTIUM, only one of them got to stay in the competition rather. And it was UNGENTIUM after a 3-match slog of a series. Which means, of course, we're getting set up over the course of today for our next day of play. Only the teams who don't have 3 wins or 3 losses get to stay in the competition, which means our field of players here in the regional stage will get shorter and shorter as we go. But on to more details on the next one, as we will take a quick look across the standings for anyone who's coming in just after the break. We can see the 1 and 2 records at the bottom. Those are the teams that get to stay in. Entropiq Prague and Nexus are officially out. We haven't got any 3 and 0 teams yet. We will have that relatively soon. In fact, we should have that today. Those are the teams that make it through to playoffs. 3 wins gets you there. However you get them, be it 3-0 or 3-2, you still get through to the main Swiss stage, where we will, of course, be bringing in the invited teams as well. For whichever team does make it through, of course, you do guarantee yourself $2,000 from the $84,000 US prize pool. So very much worthwhile, even if you don't think you can win the whole competition, to still make it through to the next stage by hook or by crook. So, One Shot versus Enterprise coming up. These are 2 teams who are 1-1. One Shot from the Russian Federation and Slovakian team Enterprise. One Shot definitely favor coming in, ranked 36th to the 81st of Enterprise, which, you know, maybe a little bit surprising. Enterprise have definitely been a lot higher, but February has not been a kind month for them. So hopefully this will be the time for them to get the turnaround here in March. But yeah, from what we've seen more recently, One Shot have been doing some pretty nice stuff indeed. Now, for any of you fans of coaches playing for teams, which we had to experience last time around, it went remarkably well. One Shot, they've actually been doing that themselves. Lost DF, their coach, subbed in before, and actually did pretty well, all things considered. Actually ended up being one of the strongest performing members on the squad. So maybe there's a new meta incoming of get your coach, not just the coach, but to play as well. They were what Lost DF was doing was replacing Get Yeka, who hopefully is back in and playing, because Yeka is one of the strongest players on the One Shot squad. So it's all the more impressive Lost DF was able to not only substitute for them, but substitute for them in terms of performance. As far as the other players go, FPS, of course, always takes a large amount of our attention. One of the strongest players on the team. And, you know, overall as a squad, they tend to be pretty dominant. They very rarely lose a series 0 and 2. So expect this one, just like our previous series, to go to 3 games if, and only if, Enterprise can show us they're capable of standing toe-to-toe with One Shot. Of course, Enterprise we're getting onto in just a second. As I said, they have taken a bit of a tumble in terms of overall rankings, really. Recently, Mangus and Eli, video members being on the team for most of the year. Now, for Enterprise, you may notice Miltsy and Blitz, they were creeping in over the recent tournaments for Enterprise. And I think that's part of the reason why they've been taking a little bit of a dive recently. It's not because Miltsy and Blitz are bad players. Far from it, in fact. Blitz is one of the best performers on the team, and Milty is doing absolutely fine. They ended up replacing Neo and Adigis, who are both, I think, straight up just weaker players. But I'm not sure Enterprise have found its rhythm as a team quite yet, even if on paper those players' performances are very strong. Of course, for Enterprise, they have played in the Pinnacle Winter Series before. Certainly back in number 1, they didn't make it out of the regional Swiss, going 1-3. This will be a chance for them to set themselves up strongly going forward. Though again, you're kind of somewhat punished in the Swiss for getting wins, because you'll be facing up against tougher and tougher opponents as you go. But we'll see. Also, just before we leave out our initial discussion of the teams, Mangus, one of my favourite players, just because their name is really fun to say. Also a huge clutch player for Enterprise. While they won't necessarily put out consistent performances, when they are called upon to go 1v3, that is the player that most sticks in the mind, mainly because I enjoy calling them the Mangus. They are very, very exciting player to watch, and I hope for any of you guys who've not seen these teams play before, that you will be enjoying what should be some very, very good CSGO. Let's head on to the Vetoes and see what they've got for us here. One Shot definitely have the better map pool. They've got 4 maps, Dust, Mirage, Inferno, and Nuke. They're very happy to play on, and there we go. 2 of those maps end up getting picked. Dust going to get thrown away, as Vertigo will be our decider. Not a favoured map of either team, but I think they're both happy to play on there. So Inferno actually isn't too bad for Enterprise from my initial research. Yeah, Mirage as well. Yeah, I think Enterprise, despite coming into this one as the underdogs, in these first 2 maps, they should stand a pretty good chance based on their historical performance. And the last map is not really favoured to either team. So, coming out of the veto, I think Enterprise are really happy with the way things went there. One Shot still are definitely the favoured team, but at least they don't have to face up against, or at least Enterprise don't need to face up against not only a better team, but also on maps that don't favour them. So, still, we remain hopeful. UNGENTIUM certainly managed to fight back from an underdog position in our previous series. So, right now, it's anybody's to play. Bear in mind, unlike our previous series, this is not for a place in the competition. These teams are both 1-1, so let's get things started. One of these teams gets to move up into a position tomorrow where they can play for a playoff place, and the other team will have to play to avoid being eliminated from the competition. A fateful tomorrow awaits. The odds in favour of One Shot. Let's see if the numbers stay stacked in this way. Our Pinnacle odds will be updating the whole way through the series, as always. So if things start to change, we will have that reflected in our odds at the top middle of the screen every few rounds. Enterprise. Creeping up slowly into... unfortunately, they've chosen the site which has been super stacked by One Shot. Of course, One Shot are going to try and not give this away as much as they can, but I think they might have. They've certainly given away that this is a pretty well-defended site. I think actually 3 of them have been spotted. So yeah, Enterprise, I think One Shot overplayed their hand a little bit there by showing 3 members. They've opened the door and what? Matties gets the 1v3. One Shot just got nailed. Enterprise, that's a hell of a start. Now, for long-time Enterprise watchers, you won't be that surprised by Matty's pulling off something like that. They have been a crazy clutch player for the team before. But still, it's been a little while. Been on the team for around 7 months or so. I mentioned before, Enterprise really anchored by Mangus and Eli, who've been on the team for a year. Then Matty's a little less than that, 7 months. Then Blitz and Milty, the new members, who have just joined the team. Milty going to pick up their kill on the tail end to cut them up to 2. Not bad at all. For the One Shot side, Yeka is officially playing. No more lost DF. Of course, it's always a weird position to be in where the coaches come in and play better than the players before. Because if my memory serves, Lost DF was actually the top performer on the team. And I did actually wonder if maybe we'd actually see them playing more. But doesn't seem like it's going to be the case right now. Greg, FPS, we've certainly seen them do some pretty impressive stuff. Sonics as well. This is a very good one-shot team. Last time we saw them on stream, going 2-0 against Entropiq Prague. As it looks like we are having some technical issues. So while we wait for that to resolve, just a quick reminder for anyone who's coming to the stream for the first time. Our partners, of course, Pinnacle themselves, for the Pinnacle Winter Series, tb.tg/winter, use the code winter22, and you can show that you've come from our stream, and of course that will encourage Pinnacle to host some more tournaments. Pinnacle Cup coming up as well, of course. That's for our over 18s. Please do bet responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose. This has been discussed in the chat. Definitely don't want to be anybody to end up in any financial difficulties because of those kind of decisions. Hopefully, it's just something that people are doing for fun and occasionally profit. For Extrafy, the peripheral manufacturer from Sweden, supporting our casters, including myself, with their headsets, which I can definitely assure you are very comfortable indeed. The mouse, keyboards, mouse pads, all that good stuff. You can get 10% off with Winter 10. Again, you are supporting future CSGO competitions by doing so. So we would very much encourage you to check them out. Details below the stream right now. Let's see what folks are talking about in the Twitch chat. So yes, Yeka, Guruk, we can confirm Yeka is playing. Let's see. Yes, and people happy to see Matt is back and performing up to the previous standard. Not at all surprising. Of course, with the technical issues coming out straight away here, it's not ideal by any means. I don't know how much this affected the first round. I think it was, let's see. Well, we're back underway anyway. For Enterprise, whether they got there because of any kind of influence of tech is uncertain. Matt is, I suppose it might explain why they were able to get a 1v3 kill. Or, three 1v3 kills. Let me restate that just to make it clear. So Matt is now the top fragger in the server after that Singer ran, with an incredibly impressive performance. Let's get it on. As noted before, in the Swiss competition, the regional Swiss and the main Swiss next week, you are somewhat punished for winning rounds because you're faced against tougher opponents, but the advantage, of course, is you kind of get extra lives in the tournament as well. While you're facing against tougher opponents, you can afford to lose. So both of these teams in this particular round can afford to lose this match. Of course, they'd much rather not do that. But we'll see. If Enterprise keep up their play, they're in a good spot. 2 Famas in for 1 shot. Enterprise, they've traded evenly so far, as Sonic stacks up on the site there with Fadet. Fadet just with the Deagle. Utility is still there for Enterprise. They've got enough to make one play. Nice fake out from Eli over on A. Gonna chuck out quite a lot of utility to try and draw a member off. 1 shot, they ain't buying it. So Eli is on the way to gather up the rest of the squad. Sonic does get spotted, but Mattis. Shot in the back. Blitz wins out the duel, and the site is taken. Greg still on the move, but I don't think they're going to want to try and seriously contest here. The smoke is clearing, so Greg can look onto site. Greg has been pretty clutch before for 1 shot. Very fortunate we're able to see 1 shot more than a few times. We can see, oh, Miltsy getting some love in the chat as well. Yeah, Enterprise definitely getting a refresh on their roster with Blitz and Miltsy. I think there's a lot higher cap for them or a lot higher cap for Enterprise with Blitz and Melty on the team. No Kappa. As the bomb goes off, Enterprise get themselves a second win. I do wonder if we might see any more technical timeouts coming in from One Shot. If they are still having ongoing issues, that's surely going to affect their performance, but nothing we can do about it right now. We are playing this all online, so we have to make do with what the connections the players bring to the field. 2 SMGs, 3 AKs, and a full hand of utility for Enterprise to keep the good times rolling. Again, we like to see the teams that are in the lead making good use of their utility advantage to soften up the opposition before the fighting really begins. HE grenades getting burnt. As it's actually Greg getting the first kill. Enterprise moving in to try and make sure that there isn't too much of a steal away. I do believe One Shot are able to grab hold of that SMG, I think it was. Yes, Fadek grabbed it. As Greg grabs another. There we go, Greg coming through big for One Shot. Enterprise down to 3, though the equipment still in their favor ever so slightly. Angus coming in with the bomb. One Shot have read the move onto the A site, and they are there to say hello. A cheerful, neighborly hello. Greg, though, round the corner, doesn't get one before the deleted. Enterprise transitioning up through CT onto the B site, and Sonix is leaving with the AK. This used to be such a nice neighborhood until Enterprise arrived and started smashing up everything. Sonix gonna creep out onto the site again. Gonna try for something. I don't think Enterprise are really expecting any kind of retake at this point. With pretty good reason. I feel like Sonix is probably better off just holding on to that AK. That's a decent chunk of change. And of course, a weapon they won't be able to buy. Alright, yes. Looks like Sonix has thought the better of it. They're heading out of town. As Enterprise takes stock of a strong early game. We'll have a look at the overall positionings of each of these players so far, but Greg having their moment in the sun, but a brief moment. Matthews from before, picking up off that 3k, just picking up one more kill so far. So not making consistent hits, but certainly still the highest fragger. Enterprise spreading out the rest of their kills across their team. Everybody's got at least one. And wow, yeah, nearly everybody, well, say the majority of the team have gotten 2 kills, which is not bad at all. When Yeko, of course, coming in instead of the coach, has actually not gotten any kills so far. That's going to be a very tough position for Yeko to be in. Being subbed out and then being brought back in. Well, being subbed out for the coach and then being brought back in and potentially being in a situation where he might not even perform as well as the coach did. Yeka is deleted immediately, so that's not about to change. 2 back in for One Shot means we are even. Enterprise Blitz is very, very wounded indeed. When the smoke clears, Sonix, this is going to be for the round. Blitz is going to walk right past them and get ventilated. Miltsy gets the revenge. Rek has to hold the B site by themselves. FPS can come in from the flank. Good molly, but Greg gets underneath it. Enterprise don't check the direction they threw that molly from. Mattis gets the plant, gets the kill. It's time to duel. 1 apiece, both of them heavily wounded. 2 soldiers meeting on the battlefield as the smoke whips around them. FPS on the site, smoking themselves off. Gonna give the impression they're going for a defuse. Mattis doesn't quite fall for it. And does find FPS. Mattis comes through clutch. Nice round for them. Miltsy with the 3k. Enterprise remain untouched. One shot. Strong defense on A. Enterprise get onto the site without reaction quite yet. FPS and Yeka are waiting. Yeka in good position to start locking down some kills. As FPS. No, it's 2 apiece. Eli ducking and diving as Greg is knocked over. One shot very quickly coming back in, but Miltsy is ready for them. Not going to be distracted by them chickens as the flames keep Fader from the door. Enterprise doing a real nice job here. Their early game has been fantastic. And Fadet will fade away. No, Enterprise, don't you do it. The Mangus is on the prowl, looking to lock down this final kill. Ay, ay, ay. Please go out as a pair. Eesh. I guess there's only so many times I can say that, but fortunately Mangus doesn't get punished for what could arguably be called over-aggression. Again, I would open up to you guys in the chat. Am I just missing something here? Is it more worthwhile? I mean, I'm a play-by-play caster rather than an analyst, so I generally don't know. Is it better for teams to be going out and trying to punish the other team and take their weapons away while gambling their own to do so? It would seem to make sense to me if Enterprise had a ton of money. They've got a good amount, but it's not like they're in a position they can be giving away guns for nothing. So Sanix going to be by themselves on B. One shot. They've got themselves some SMGs. They've got one rifle for Fader. They are all in on A. And mollies from both sides will keep the B approach from being pushed any further. I don't know. We'll see if Enterprise realize what's going on here. Right now they've just been chucking a bunch of utility out to the top of Banana, but not finding anything. I think at some point they might start to read this as, wait, is there nobody here or only one person here? Especially now they found Fader up in major boosted place. They're still going in for A anyway. Major misread from Enterprise. It may still work. We have got, I believe it's Matty's up there, scouting out the B site very carefully. But Fader is here on A, finds Eli in the side, but doesn't kill them. Weaponry advantage, I suppose, makes a difference. That's going to be the rifle gone for one shot. And maybe Enterprise still get onto the site anyway. FPS is waiting. Yeka gets a kill. FPS another. This is surely the end of the line for Enterprise. Miltsy spots through the smoke, but no. They are run down. Mattis, last one standing, and they get wiped out as well. One shot resupply off of the corpses of Enterprise. And the Russian team are back in the equation. So there's a timeout for Enterprise. I do like this. Throwing a timeout here to try and throw some cold water on any momentum that one shot may have found for themselves. Of course, the plan made for what to go next. Money looks like it's good enough for Miltsy to be able to buy up for other players. So yes, I think it's going to start tossing stuff across to them and allow for Enterprise to come back in with presumably what will be a full buy. We'll see. Yes. So Eli buying Blitz a rifle. Everyone's got a rifle. I'm actually going to spend down to nearly nothing here to get everybody up as equipped as possible. From the one-shot side, they're doing exactly the same. This will be the full-on fight that can turn the entire flavor of these opening halves. Good grenade from one shot. Chunks out Mattis. And that could be the thing that is a difference maker here. Baydet does get a little cooked, but nothing too serious. Enterprise still in a little bit of a dicey position. We have got Mangus lurking for a one-shot transition. So Enterprise's flank is somewhat covered, if not directly. 3 on the A site, and Enterprise, although they might be thinking about pulling back and changing sites. Interesting, interesting. One shot actually going to bring over more members to B, so apparently both teams thought the same way around it, but they just came to different conclusions. Utility onto A will bring Grek back again. Yes, okay, this makes sense. Enterprise are trying to play the pull you from site to site game. Unfortunately for them, One Shot have ended up, even after all of this attempted trickery, with the majority of their forces on the site that Enterprise have to go for. The thing that Enterprise played with here, of course, was time. And now they are out of time. They have to make this play stick. They need to get the plant in the next 15 seconds. They may not even get that far as Cynix gets 2. They do get locked down. It's down to Grek to try and disrupt the plot. They're firing in blind, but no, they're sent away by the guns of Enterprise. This round is still up in the air. Yeka's coming in from the side. The Mangus is there to meet them on 41 HP. Gets deleted. One shot. With Grek grabbing the double. One shot grabbed the round. And hey, that makes it 2 in a row. So, 3 members with 5 kills is not too shabby at all. Especially for One Shot who've lost as many rounds of this. Of course, Enterprise does have bigger individual players, but it's a good showing from One Shot to keep their squad coherence. Ah, yes. It's not Christmas, it's the sound of my co-caster waking up. Hello, Pause. What do you think of the match so far? Seems impressed. If by impressed, you mean... Oh my god! One Shot ripping up Enterprise! Blitz does get one back in and he's going to get the plant through. Or are they? Almost gets Grek. Wow, down to 1 HP. They had their head directly in sights that whole time. But one shot. Great recovery. They are almost back up to even. And we can see again, with the exception of Yeka, who has been a little slow out of the gates, they're looking real good. Mattis, on the Enterprise side, is the standout. But I don't think this is remotely, even close to being called a done half, let alone a done map. Enterprise going to split themselves across both sides. No real damage done yet. The exchange puts Grek down, but Blitz as well. FPS holds ground just long enough to get their shot off, as One Shot are really recovering a ton of ground. Mattis does get one. Yeka on the site will find and win the duel, giving their position away, but Mangus isn't able to take advantage as One Shot grab another round. Nicely done indeed. You think, Marky? Hoping One Shot does something big? Well, we're seeing a pretty big comeback. FPS really on a roll, grabs that first kill. Enterprise just with their pistol round, though these are Deagles. Actually picking up correct, that's impressive enough. And Mangus with a stolen M4 immediately gets another. FPS is still there to lock down the A-long approach, but Enterprise, they've got a chance here while Mangus is alive for that rifle. They're on the site. The only problem is, access to the site is being held by FPS. Mattis may not be able to get there to make the plant. I think they did spot FPS out. Dropping down instead, there's no utility to speak of. And Mattis does get deleted. Eli's going to be coming out and they're shot down as well. Mangus has to go back for the bomb. They've only got an HE grenade. They haven't got any smoke to do it with. This is a real tough proposition here. But this is the moment for the Mangus to arrive. They got what it takes. 2 kills so far. FPS locks down the bomb, locks down the round. That's an ace for them. Oh my god, I was too busy thinking about Mangus, but FPS with the 5 kills. That is beyond belief. Incredible stuff from the one-shot sniper. Brilliantly done. FPS is all you need. Alright, well, we're down to 5 apiece. One shot with an incredible comeback. Thanks in large part to FPS's forwards. Great grenade on to Miltsy, and they are gone. A second grenade will do the job. Definitely one of my favorite plays from these teams. It's a double grenade toss. So little time to react, and when it works out, it's an instant kill. Really nicely done. Enterprise at least do have the equipment for the round, but they do not have the members. Xanax is dropped. Enterprise actually recovering the round pretty well. They should be able to at least get a plant through, if nothing else. Mangus is coming up in support. Now, one shot. They've got themselves a little bit of an awkward spot to try and get back in. FPS. They're going to be coming up the flank with the sniper. I like that Mangus is breaking line of sight from a potential sniping angle. They're going to spot out what's coming, but FPS is just too damn good. Eli gets the kill back, but it's all over. The defuse is good. One shot take themselves the lead. A really, really strong comeback. As we get deeper into things, teb.gg/winter if you'd like to support the competition over on the Pinnacle site for our over 18s only. Please do bet responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose. FPS up to 12, definitely the shining star of the one-shot squad right now. Xanax from Ukraine doing some pretty nice work as well. Wreck lurking on the site. Just you can lurk on the site. Enterprise chucking out pretty heavily utility here on their way in, leaving the bomb behind. You can see the one shot, they won't hesitate. Okay, they would look like they were about to run out through Banana. That actually turns out not to be the case. FPS will be locking Banana down. As they find the first shot, FPS does get deleted. The B site is open. Beta coming in. If they get the kill, yes, the site is re-secured. And the Enterprise, they didn't commit in all their members, or they could have still overrun. Three v4 in the favor of One Shot right now. They've got 3 members on the A site. Greg is still deleted as Sonic grabs 1. It's down to Eli to get the plant. I think that's probably the best they can realistically hope for here. They do get a little trimmed, but nothing too serious. Yeka in the smoke. Eli knows where they are and gets the kill. Vader is there to trade it back, grabs the AWP, and ends out the round very nicely for One Shot. Their streak continues. Alright, as we go into our boss, just a quick reminder about our friends supporting the competition. We have got Extrafy for all of your peripheral needs. Winter 10 is the code over there. We'll be having stream cards and World of Esports returning for the main Swiss stage. Just a few hiccups, but you can always, of course, go and check them out. It's not all set up as it will be for the rest of the competition. And of course, Pinnacle themselves. deb.gg/winter with the code winter22. Again, please do bet responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose. One Shot though, they seem to have lost the ability to lose. 7 rounds in a row after a really rough start for them against Enterprise. One Shot definitely coming in as the favoured squad here. Roster of 4 Russians, 1 Ukrainian. That's Sonics in the #1 position. As an early even trade, we've got Enterprise falling out of the skies. It works out pretty well for them. They managed to take over the site. No plant made as of yet. One Shot seem like they are willing to try for the retake. Gonna fire in blinds, hope for something. But no landed shots yet. Enterprise from Slovakia. Pretty solid take and hold so far. FPS is still in play. But they're not set up for success as the Mangus finally comes through with the 4K. Yes! Yes, this is what we're waiting for. Mangus will nearly always clutch at least once per game. And that's why they are the Mangus. Not a bad time to do it at all, just before the end of half, or at least a couple of rounds before the end of the half. Means there's still a chance for Enterprise to take back and end the round, or end the half, 8-7. One Shot still pretty friggin' dangerous. Enterprise not quite enough money to be able to fully equip. Of course, FPS still an absolute menace to deal with. That #5 gets taken down by Miltsy Out-sniping the sniper with the AK. Not too shabby. Blitz grabs another. One shot. They're in big trouble. Yeka gets just one. Could have hoped for more. But Enterprise, they're on the move. Sonics gonna have to defend the site by themselves. Double peek in. It will be Eli. And Sonics destroys them. 3 kills so far, down to a single hit point. Mattis comes through, massive though, and ends things. Good spray transfer. And we're back to 7 apiece. One more round this half to determine who comes out of this looking the best. Our odds are pretty much back to where they started at the beginning of this series. Let's watch this one again. Sonics doing such a fantastic job. The Mattis did exactly the same thing. Cool as a cucumber. So in this final round and a half, Eli getting taken down pretty darn quickly. Kev Botix, no worries about the Streamcast news. I genuinely think they're a really fun addition to competitive CSGO, so looking forward to when they return next week. Even trade so far, including Ulive, who was nearly already dead, so hey. Blitz and Mangus get the first, or the second 2 kills, and one shot started to fall to pieces a little bit here. This is Enterprise's choice of map, so we kind of expected them to come out of this one with that first win. But, I mean, Enterprise, they are actually weaker performers generally on Inferno than One Shot are, so while it may be the map pick, there weren't very many situations in which Enterprise could really choose a favorite map. In fact, no, I don't think there actually are any. We have to make the best of a disadvantaged situation. Let's see if they can do it all over again. Blitz going to be holding. Spots encroaching members, but actually Enterprise looks like they read a switch play. They're stacking up towards A. Gonna go for a 2-3 split. A favored as Mattis finds the first kill. That's FPS out of the equation. The big hitter. Sonics and Yeka gonna be going on to A. As Mangus and Miltsy clean up. Last hope for One Shot is to get onto B right now. Enterprise, they've got to at some point realize there's nobody left on B. Yes, so they're going to be sending. Oh, well, at least they were looking like they're going to send somebody up to reinforce. Nothing's coming at all as Blitz apparently doesn't need reinforcements because Enterprise are off to the races already. Lovely play. Enterprise keep their momentum. That will make 4 rounds in a row, counting our previous half as well. As Enterprise, the most they've managed so far has been 5 in a row. This is seeming like it's going to be something of a swingy game. It's good to see there's a fair few folks in chat supporting both teams. I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment right now. I mean, One Shot really could come back at any point. Probably not going to be this round. With having spent $0 as the price of entry. Enterprise with a couple of SMGs. Should be able to make some kind of punish. As Blitz doesn't bite off more than they can chew. Mattis helps out as well. Very methodical dismantling of one shot. As Blitz picks up the 3K. Does get knocked over at the end, but still a very, very solid round. Enterprise up to double digits and feeling pretty good about their chances. FPS still remains the most scarifying one-shot member, up on 13 kills. Enterprise pushing themselves out pretty aggressively. Does end up costing them here on this buy round for one shot. Still bonus for Enterprise. They've got their SMGs still on the mix. Mangus is waiting. As Miltsy, their backup, evaporates, Mangus is going to break line of sight and try and redeploy. They're all by themselves, and now they don't have to worry about that at least, as the one-shot have officially ended the streak. 5 in a row, just like before. For one shot, this isn't really a pattern they can afford to maintain. Let's see, so it's been 5 in a row, then 5 in a row again. On Inferno, one shot have... Let's see, they go 5 into 7 into 5. Oh gosh, I'm not going to try and do maths directly on stream. That's always a terrible thing. I suppose if one shot can do slightly better than they did last time, then maybe they get it. As Blitz steals a kill away. Again, roaming after those last members. It's rarely working out. A shattering kaboom means the one shot pick up their first round in the half, and they're still in with a good chance of taking this first map of the series. Mirage is waiting. Vertigo are decider. Enterprise still very much our underdog team coming in. And thank you, server, for clarifying. This is our first map of the series, so still tons more to go. We will have our Pinnacle odds, of course, popping up every couple of rounds. No car. Here for good luck and having fun, not for any given team to win. Well, that's great. Definitely don't need to be behind a particular team. If you enjoy watching competitive CSGO, then good quality games like this are a worthy reason in of themselves. Please excuse my squeaky water bottle. One shot, of course, a well-oiled machine, no squeaks on them. There's the smokes cutting off a lot of the site. Nice follow-up grenade takes Masses down to barely alive. Blitz gets one back from the boosted position. That's why that's Mattis up there. Enterprise just with the one rifle left in play. This is surely one shots back. Mattis trying to fire in blind, but no. Nothing doing. It does look like Enterprise is still fishing for kills, which is a bit ambitious. I suppose Mattis doesn't have a ton to lose and finds Fade out before being dropped themselves, so alright. Trying to hit the one-shot team, trying to take a little bit of that money away. One-shot don't have a ton, but they're not exactly hurting for cash right now. It's long-term work being done by Enterprise. So 2 rounds apiece in the half. This is looking again like it's going to be very, very even, just like our first half was 7-8. This one, the two teams circling each other, both on a 1-1 record, very well matched up against each other. Of course, you'd ideally like to be dominating teams here in the main Swiss, but I think we're actually seeing very good matchups across the board, at least so far today. Molly gonna provide a little bit of interest for one shot on the way in. Trimming their health bars pretty well. Enterprise. With the utility advantage for now. One shot really stacking themselves all up. Enterprise not going out into the field at all. They've also not got very many members on the site as Blitz gets deleted. A misstep from Enterprise leaves them severely understaffed on the site itself, but all you need is Mattis grabs 2 before being dropped. Enterprise still have a chance. Milsey on the AWP is on the move. Enterprise look like they are going to go for a retake. They were suddenly willing to try and punish one shot when they didn't have the right weapons before. Now they're taking that gamble again. Eli gets deleted, one shot. Almost there. Mangus survives long enough to get their shot off. It's down to Greg versus Milsey. But time has run out. One shot will draw even. And that gives them the advantage in the half. 3 rounds in a row to 2 of Enterprise. We are back dead even again. One shot with a solid shot at the end zone. The odds remain, again, pretty similar to what we were looking at before. Enterprise has definitely been performing better than we would have expected, but not maybe good enough. I mean, Matty's play here was extremely nicely done. But I'm starting to kind of agree that while we're seeing good stuff from Enterprise, I don't know if it's good enough to deny one shot. Just pistols here for Enterprise. They have got the one AWP, and that's in the hands of Milsey, number 0 on the A side right now. Well, one shot are planning on pushing, so Milsey pushing up pretty aggressively here, actually. I like that Eli is there to cover the potential back approach. Missing the shot, then getting swarmed immediately. One shot. Going to be able to steal away the AWP if they want it. As yeah, the site is taken en masse. Fader did get killed in the intervening time. Enterprise just with the Deagles. They're going to try their luck and actually get it. FPS is knocked down. That's an AWP for the taking. Sonic's moving in to try and make sure that AWP doesn't get stolen. There's a smoke. Blitz says, hey, screw it. I've got a chance here. Gonna get denied. Number 8, though. Mattis is coming up from behind. Listening out for the sound of footsteps. And gets the shot. Gets the rifle. Mattis making out like bandits. As Greg tries to punish them. Mattis round the corner is waiting and puts Greg down. One shot though, they still have 4 in a row, even if that tail end didn't go quite the same way they would have liked. JS, someone explain why Enterprise went to stack A after one shot doesn't do anything for 1 minute on A. You'd have to ask them, I suppose. You can sort of end up in being too clever for your own good by kind of saying, surely they won't do, they're going to change up their strategy at this point, but it's always going to be something of a guess. These teams do get the chance to scout each other out because we are bringing every single game onto stream, so especially as we reach the end of this first week of Regional Swiss, there'll be a good amount of information about each squad available if your team has enough of a support staff to kind of filter through it all. One shot Enterprise with one casualty apiece, as eLive will be supported by Mattis to get that kill through. Enterprise in a solid spot, good flash. Greg getting taken down in the exchange afterwards, so it was a little messier than Enterprise would have liked. One shot up, still 11-10. Yes, asking who's the IGL on Enterprise? I'm not actually sure. Maybe someone else knows in the chat. FPS doesn't win against Mangus. That's astonishing. Mangus still alive on 100% HP. Fader has to decide, do they want to go any further? eLive is coming. And eLive does not decide to risk it with a knife. Fader is down and Enterprise are back up to dead even. We could be even looking at overtime for this, our first map. Alright, timeout coming in. That makes sense for one shot. It wasn't really the round they were hoping for, so they're going to need to figure out what went wrong. Mattis up to 23 kills, most dominating player on the server right now. Some really impressive stuff from them, as I was talking about Mattis before. They have been a huge player for the squad. They're not always the top fragger for Enterprise, but when they go off big. One shot, getting that first. No, I do apologize. It was eLive. I thought Greg was going to grab that one. 3 defenders on A, 2 on B. One shot with just the pistols. Low expectations, but I'd love to see them try something shenanigan-y. Skywinker reckoning it's going to be an 11-16 map. We'll see. I don't know. These two teams have been so well matched. I think we see at least a 14-16, if not an overtime. But as I say, I'm not any kind of expert at all. At least not when it comes to that kind of stuff. One shot, getting torn apart. Yeka gets a kill. It's cold comfort indeed, as eLive grabs the triple and Enterprise enter the lead. And yes, immediately we are starting to see Enterprise supporters coming out more confidently in the chat. Makes a lot of sense. This is their map choice, and they are looking pretty solid. There's still money to buy up. One shot still with a solid chance of recovery, especially thanks to FPS's sniping, which has been on point. Wreck opening up hostilities as Masses tries to create distance. Does manage to find Fader and put them down to bring us back to 4 apiece. One shot have a big decision to make. Utility being burnt. Still a good amount on both sides. The Sanix, another one, notably, is completely out. Mattis will be the only defender on the B site because Blitz is off securing the CT approach. Maybe worried the one shot will try and transition through there. As we've seen, that's actually not the issue. The issue at hand is one shot. I've got an enormous amount of bodies to throw onto the B site in a hurry. Blitz is nearby, but definitely not looking towards the B site. The smoke is going to make them suspicious, and there comes the rest of the utility. Mattis able to create distance and get a kill untraded. Enterprise bringing their numbers to bear. They have got the 4 versus 3, but they have still will bring up their final players. FPS is very low. This is, I think, going to be a pretty tough hold here for one shot. They're going to have to deal with members coming in from 2 sides, though fortunately not Banana. FPS down there to make sure that they do not get flanked. Enterprise, all the eggs in the CT approach basket. Eli Mattis grabs 2. FPS with 1 back, and Enterprise have done it. Matty with the 4K. Spectacular play. Enterprise are off to the races. Dizzy AF, you go to the same university as Yeka. Well, that's pretty cool. What's Yeka like? Do you know them? I realize that going to the same university isn't the same as knowing somebody. But I certainly hope people at that university are pretty proud of the one-shot squad. Rafa, coming back with letting us know what the key rounds are. Thank you very much for that. Server? Miltsy being your boyfriend. Ah, well, I hope you're very proud of their performance so far. Suddenly helping prop up a strong Enterprise. Up to 13. One shot. Gonna be bringing out machine pistols across the board. A bold play. That's one that's not going to be too high stakes for them. One shot, at least they've got the chance to try and bring all of them into close quarters. We'll see if they can find a weak point on Enterprise to exploit. Eli. Now they're creating a little bit of distance here. And actually be inside that smoke. As FPS does take out Mangus. Eli is gone as well. A-site in peril. And Miltsy is gone. Wow, what a round this has been for one shot. They've managed to steal 2 rifles in the exchange. Astonishing stuff. Utara? Apparently Mangus is your brother. Wow, we have got a lot of relatives in the chat here today, and I cannot believe that anybody would ever lie on the internet. So I'm going to take you entirely seriously. I hope your family dinners with Mangus are delicious. Matty's last one standing, and they are dropped. What a round for one shot. Their pistol round turns into a win, and they get a resupply from Enterprise. Fantastic showing. And even Mattis wasn't enough. Mattis very close to hitting the 30 bomb, but they still couldn't manage it 1 versus 2. I can see multiple people claiming Miltsy as their partner, so I don't know if that's how it works. Oh, Twitch chat, never change. Kev Botix would like to see Enterprise focusing more on utility than picking up orbs. Well, you somewhat got your wish for this round at least. A decent loadout, and of course not enough money to buy an AWP, so I suppose that makes the decision for them. FPS on AWPing your duty, number 5. As is only right. 3-2. Enterprise, a little light on equipment. Oh boy, it's always fun to see the chat really turn against the team when they get eco'd. But yes, it's a very painful thing to watch if you're an Enterprise fan. It's happening a lot more than I would have expected here in the Pinnacle Winter Series number 3. Of course, the crushing blow to the morale and to the economy as well. Blitz is gone, Mattis does trade back. As Mattis gets caught in a corner and deleted, the plant is good. Enterprise, they can fight for this, but I don't think they really want to. They go out scouting. All of the dropped weaponry is on the actual site itself, but at this point, everyone's pretty much got everything they can hope for. Eli is really the only one who can realistically upgrade. FPS will lurk in Banana, hoping beyond hope someone's willing to try and push up against them. My Witcher, thank you for your kind words. Thank you guys for being a great chat to enjoy this game along with. Up to 13-13. I genuinely think we might well be going to overtime here. This is looking very dicey indeed. I'm going to actually check to see if... Well, I don't know. I suppose once we get the match win in, I think right now our Pinnacle also kind of treating this as a game that anybody can win, and so our odds aren't really changing from the start of the game. Right now, One Shot though, they've got the advantage, they've got the guns, they've got the utility. Enterprise gonna have to make do with very minimal equipment. Eli, their only rifler for the round and no utility at all. Eli at least does have the body armor, so that's something. Eli doesn't get the first kill though. Mangus is able to salvage the rifle, so that's something. Never gonna give Tiv. Sorry, mangled that name. FPS is your nephew. Oh, how exciting! I hope you're a good uncle to them or auntie. Wow, amazing. The full family of everybody in the game is in the chat as Enterprise clean up. What an astonishing exchange. Yeka gets peeked on by multiple Enterprise members, and Greg is now going to have to deal with the resupplied Enterprise side. Blitz and Mangus. The bomb has got a ton of time left. Number 6, number 7. Enterprise could take this round back as they return the favor to One Shot. Greg is waiting. Enterprise can't afford to run out this much of the clock without a defuse kit. They gotta go sometime. They're not planning on saving. They've spotted out the last target. Mangus is gone, and Greg has done it. Stands and delivers. Bear in mind, this is only our first map from our second best of 3 today. Greg's defense here, ironclad. Enterprise, it just seemed like they didn't know what to do at that point. And now One Shot are well rewarded as Enterprise going to do a little bit of flower rearranging at spawn. A good way to recover your team's mental. I'm sure the players are very excited to hear that Twitch chat has claimed them as their own. And they watch this back afterwards. Matties, of course, will be enjoying watching this one back afterwards the most. They have definitely made it over 30 kills now. This has been their game as Eli steps into the gap. One Shot trying to push onto B. They've got no choice but to carry on as Enterprise actually switching across the way, expecting One Shot to switch as well. That has not been the case. FPS and Yeka are still here. As Eli is gone, Blitz does grab one. Yeka drops to Blitz as everybody's boyfriends, partners, uncles, dads, everything is in this game. I believe Twitch chat implicitly, but Enterprise believe in themselves and they believe in matters. Locks down another 3K. Very, very impressive stuff. So many multi-kills. And one shot stopped in their tracks, now down to 14 apiece. This is a pretty wild game where, yeah, on this, the map pick of Enterprise, anybody could win. Coming up after this series is done, of course, which is a little way away. Ambush and Eklot, as we watch Mattis putting on a clinic again. Enterprise, all it took was a little bit of flower arranging to get them back in the right frame of mind. Mattis is up to 34 kills. This is not overtime yet. And Mattis is putting on an incredible show, more than double the kills of, well, actually quite a lot of players here. I say a lot of players. That's only a few players. Double the kills of Greg, more than double the kills of Fadet. Mattis. I never like to try and oversell Mattis because they don't always show up, but when they do, when they do, then they are world-endingly strong. Shout out to our Greg fans in the chat, inspiring some strong emotions as they should. One shot, getting some good progress onto the A site against 3 Enterprise members. Eli finds one, looking for the second, can't quite do it, but FPS has been trimmed down to minimal health. Greg, the only one with a rifle. But Sonics is able to swoop it up. No FPS, my apologies. Good overwhelm onto Mangus, puts us down to 1 versus 1. 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, I can't even count. But Sonics is almost dead, so I suppose that makes them almost a 1. Yeka, holding on the back of sight, gonna move around, good bit of mix-up. Enterprise, don't know what they're getting into. Mattis is dropped, Blitz gets one, but Cynix finish is off the job. Nice shot, and one shot are in with a chance of ending it. Cynix on 24. The only Ukrainian member of the Russian squad, one shot, doing a real nice job so far. They're no Mattis, but they are certainly still a player that matters. Enterprise, it's do or die. Will it be overtime? Or will it be Mattis all day, every day? Taking Greg down. I'm kind of surprised I didn't go for a knife kill then, because that was a golden opportunity. Enterprise, they still got the gun advantage though. Blitz with nothing to talk about so far. Number 7 on flex duty between the 2 sites. One shot, playing this one out slow and steady. Oh, and apparently, Mattis's grandchildren are in the chat. Exciting stuff as well. Gosh, it's really been a very hugely exciting family gathering. Always great for our teams to be able to play in front of their friends and family. The one shot, the opportunity lays here. See if they can secure their first game of their only series today. Baydek gonna sneak onto site, getting a little smoked. Miltsy can't quite see them. The A site will be the push though. Mangus needs to stay on the site, couldn't quite do it. Good smoke as Splits now with an AK does not get to do too much of anything. Faded holding, locks down Eli, and we are done. One shot, and their entire family winning out the first game of the series, 16-14. A very impressive showing on Enterprise's choice of map. The rest of the series, we said, neither team really favored on either map, but we've still got at least one more game before we're done with this series, and 2 more series to come after that today. For now, though, we're headed to break, and we hope to join you and the many, many relatives of each of these teams after the break. Game number 2 of our second series of the day, Enterprise versus One Shot. Enterprise is going to be starting us out here on the CT side of Mirage. One Shot with a very strong Game 1 performance, though it was very close by the end. Mattis from Enterprise putting on a ludicrously strong performance, gets the first kill of this one as well. 35 kills, but that still wasn't enough to give Enterprise the win. Eli grabbing another. As One Shot have got the plant down, so they've got their money secured. But some good trade kills here. I like the One Shot on making it so that they don't lose any kills untraded, but with FPS sitting back on the site, it looks like One Shot will give the ground to allow for Enterprise to move into the kill zone. But it doesn't work out. The fuse is good. Enterprise get themselves the first round. This is, of course, must win for them in this series, so both of our teams are not in danger of elimination today. They are hoping to move into a potential promotion position tomorrow, where they can guarantee themselves getting through to playoffs by getting their third win, and it will also guarantee them $2,000. Right now, these teams have nothing, but make it through one round, you get $2,000. Make it through the main Swiss as well, you get another $3,000, with even more awaiting the further you get. So the teams with everything to play for. Enterprise, we'll see how they do here. Couple of Galils in for One Shot. But they are going to be taking this ground a little bit more aggressively as Blitz thought he's taking the utility directly to the face. But Sonics and Yeka are gone immediately. One Shot. I mean, this is going to hurt them further. They're not going to get a plant this round. FPS being driven back by the hail of bullets. And they're going to be left wondering what happened to their team. This is supposed to go so very different. But instead, Enterprise make it out with every single last piece of equipment. And hey, I think our odds might start... Well, I say, they probably won't start to swing particularly for a while. You know, on shot, they've got the map locked down, so that is a certainty. Everything else is in the wind. Mattis, though, already taking pole position on the squad. Certainly seems like they haven't slowed down at all. Blitz and Eli, I believe, managed to grab a couple each. Means that they've got a good supporting structure in place. As Miltsy, I can't remember whose partner or grandpa they are, but Mattis is everybody's daddy. As they smack down One Shot, grabbing themselves another 3k. Why, that's just a perfect pairing. Mattis and multi-kills. Miltsy not going to allow for Mattis to get the 4k. Going to keep their star player a little bit humble. But Enterprise standing out amongst the crowd, get their first 3 rounds in. Feeling pretty comfortable. Of course, we reflect back to the previous map. Enterprise got 5 in a row before having One Shot come back as strongly as possible. We will be seeing the first proper buy round for One Shot. They've got most of their utility, a little bit light, but shouldn't make too much of a difference. We'll see, though. If we end up with even trades of utility in the early going, and we're certainly getting a fair amount of that from Enterprise, then maybe One Shot will run out before they make their final plays. Imagine it's going to matter most when it comes to the presence of HE grenades. We've got 3 left for Enterprise, 1 left on Cynex for One Shot. So Enterprise can feel a little bit more comfortable clumping up. If they, well, assuming they're able to read that this is the case. Blitz waiting on site as Enterprise actually abandon, well, I say don't abandon the A site. They've got Mattis there as well, but they are starting to move towards mid. You can see that One Shot are lurking, waiting for this opportunity to present itself. Cynex and Yeka are both there and ready. Gret going to go up close and personal with Enterprise's mid control. As Gret gets a little cooked, Mattis suffering the same fate. Molly into the mid window. As Mattis is dropped, that's a big win for One Shot, 2 kills. Back in, the A site has been laid bare. Miltsy tries to come in to get some sight back, but Enterprise, this time it took a little less time for One Shot to take back control. 3 members surviving, including FPS themselves. Without Mattis, what is Enterprise? Would a team by any other name smell as sweet? Certainly, Enterprise don't look as good without Mattis. So they're going to have to play it carefully. I'm not sure if I fully understood what they were trying with their mid-push for Enterprise, but I like that they're trying something a bit different. Unfortunately, One Shot went back to the standard well of spread your forces and hit where Enterprise are weakest. Elive still looking for a little bit more. Mangus lurking in mid will find Theta and put them in the ground. Time has run out on the round, but that's going to be some comfort as One Shot take their first round of this second game. 1 game in hand already. Victory at the end of this particular rainbow. We'll see if One Shot have got what it takes to make this a 2-0. The Mattis kill update for John Mirage is we have got, I believe, 6 so far. So it's going to be a pretty hard task for Mattis to beat their own bar from the previous game, which is 35. But hey, if you're not up for a challenge, and Mattis apparently isn't this round, they get taken out immediately. One Shot winning these 1v1 duels with quite some aplomb. Unfortunately, the smoke goes a little wide there to defuse. Enterprise, they're in major trouble. A couple of One Shot members are a little bit hurt, but Enterprise have been brought down to 2, and they are abandoning ship on this entire round, saying, you know what, One Shot, we didn't want this round anyway. It was for schmucks. There we go. One Shot make it out with everybody. I don't want to see One Shot going out without the buddy system, and there we go. So we have got One Shot hunting for Enterprise, but at least they're hunting as a 2. When you're going into a B site which is held by Enterprise, though, I would love to have all 5 One Shot members. If you're going to go hunting to try and hurt Enterprise's economy, I think you really need overwhelming numbers to get the results in your favor. There's no time left for a defuse anyway, as Elive is popped. Mangus is the last one left standing. And the earth-shattering kaboom signals the arrival of One Shot truly into game number 2. Notable is that nobody on One Shot has more than 2 kills, the spread of only 1. Cynix, the only one to not have 2 kills themselves. That's an impressive showing from One Shot, that level of coordination that everybody is throwing in the big haymakers. Mattis did get taken out very early on into the round, and again, that is a point of strength and a point of failure for Enterprise. They need to keep Mattis alive, because while Mattis lives, they have hope. When Mattis is dead, so are, for the most part, going to be their own chances. Huge utility from One Shot onto the site. Good utility reprisal from Enterprise to keep that from going too much further. One Shot, they've made it a few inches onto site, but Blitz able to punish them for it. Mattis is charging forward, but only manages to get the one before they drop. That's not good enough for the ace. I think they're maybe getting a little over-aggressive, knowing that they set a very high bar for themselves for future games. Miltsy gonna have their goose cooked by FPS, losing all their health. That is gonna feel pretty terrible. FPS, though, is feeling amazing. 3 kills so far. Incredibly deadly with a sniper rifle. Elive missing an opportunity there to pop round the corner. Does find and delete FPS, though. That's a huge get. Elive very happy, I'm sure, to make it out of the round with the AWP. But they might not have the chance to do so. Yeka can get smoked off. I don't know if Elive is good enough on the AWP. I think they might have thrown the AWP over the fence. Oh no, I think it's just there beside the corpse of FPS. Presumably wanting to come back for that AWP later on. I don't know if Elive is confident enough to go for this here. They've been a decently strong player for Enterprise, but they haven't been a star. To be fair, Yeka is in a similar position. We're going to establish themselves, As eLive is deleted, one shot go up to 3. It cost them a lot of players to get here, but they have drawn even. Let's see. What are folks saying in the chat? I can't explain that call. This is from Jess. Can't explain that call. You rush Palace and leave your AWP in sight instead of the AWP taking Palace. Generally I tend to assume for the most part the teams have got something specific in mind, but yes, it can be tricky to try and follow. I think it's worthwhile. Generally speaking, I would always tend to advise if you don't understand why a team's doing something, you're like, why are they doing this? It's usually best to try and figure out why rather than just assume it's because they're bad, because these are not bad teams. They're making the best decision they can at the time, even if that decision ultimately turns out to be unwise. We have the benefit of knowing where everybody is all the time, and they are in a very different environment than we are. Sometimes these plays are just gambles, and when they go against, it can look real bad for a team. Enterprise just on the Deagles for this round. We'll see if they've got any shenanigans. Milsey picks up Sanix from behind. Not bad at all. The A site completely belongs to one site. To one shot, not one site. As a second kill in for Enterprise. Alright, this is a much nicer pistol round. Blitz has got the AK. I think Enterprise are going to go for a retake. They've got very little to lose. And also, by going for the retake, they can grab extra rifles. Mangus will be coming in from the side. Basic pistol in hand. FPS. No, sorry, it's Fadet, I think, who is covering the rear. And Mangus finds them. We're down to 2v2. Time has run out for Enterprise, but a good round nonetheless. They grab the AK. I think Mangus is going to try for something, but FPS is too quick on the draw. Enterprise? Despite losing the round, I think they're pretty happy with that. Even while one shot move up to 4 in a row. Enterprise has shown themselves to be a team who can work with a pistol round. So as we get on the way here properly, we will, of course, for any of our new viewers here at the Pinnacle Winter Series number 3, to encourage them to check out Pinnacle themselves, one of the largest betting companies in the world. teb.gg, that's golf, /winter, with the code winter22, lets the Pinnacle know you came from our stream. That's for our over 18s only. Please do bet responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose. Had this discussion in chat a few times. But yes, do make sure of that. Of course, as well, if you've got the chance, you can look below the stream and also check out our amazing friends from Extrafy, the peripheral manufacturer from Sweden, supporting today's competition and all of the competition. You can pick up all of your next mice, keyboard, headsets and things from them using the code WINTER10 for a 10% discount. And again, you're supporting more CSGO by doing so. So if you think, I want one of those fancy customizable mice, you can do that. If you want to be like Enterprise and land an HE grenade directly onto Sanix, why, maybe it will help you do that as well. I don't know if that's a guarantee. I'm going to say it's not a guarantee. FPS does pick up the first kill onto Milsey. As one shot, very happy to call the A site their home. Blitz lurking, finds one, walks right onto the fire, which is a bit unfortunate. One shot, I think they've got this site locked down, but Enterprise looks like they're still going to try for it as Mangus turns around and gets the kill onto Sanix. How the hell did that happen? eLive is alive, and on the site, the plant has not been made. eLive is actually covering the bomb right now. FPS. Oh, I wouldn't want to try and duel them, especially when you don't even know where they are. You can see eLive is looking between the 2 points where they're likely to have contact with one shot. Time is running out. eLive has got the opportunity to just hide themselves here. FPS is already looking this direction. I think we might have Fadet coming onto site as FPS plucks eLive from the sky. One shot, up to 5 in a row. We have got money for Enterprise, though not... I think they've got enough to work with. I think we will see a buy. We'll at least see a partial buy. Blitz certainly with money to burn. Looks like there'll be the hero M4 for the round potentially. Okay. Mattis hasn't been having as good of a game here on Mirage as they did have on our previous map, so I cannot understand not putting all of your hopes behind them. Mattis and their very, well, I mean, honestly, everyone seeming to have their extended family in the chat. I think Mattis probably attracting a lot of that attention. There we go. Yes. Mattis's children are in the chat as well. That's how I'm choosing to interpret that daddy statement. So this is for Enterprise. They're hoping to have another solid... I don't know if we would call it a half buy. Miltsy down early. Blitz has got the 1 kill so far. Certainly anybody they kill on 1 shot is going to be a pretty solid trade of resources. Full B site defense from Enterprise. 1 shot say, hey! Let's get back to business again as Eli actually steals the kill away. I don't know quite what happened there. But good pistol work, down to 3 on 3. Enterprise will be able to salvage some equipment if they're willing to go up against Greg. They actually get an AWP. Gosh, I didn't even realize that was available. Wow. Alright, Enterprise doing pretty well. Looks like 1 shot are not happy to leave things as they are. Fadette taking some long-range shots. Blitz still holding onto the AWP. Oh no! Enterprise lose out on a ton of money. Mangus trying to get back a kill at least. But no. 1 shots are cruel indeed. Stealing away the small success that Enterprise managed to grab for themselves. Giving them 6 in a row. This is, again, remember... 1 shot. They've already got 1 game in hand. If they win out here on Mirage, this series is done. This will be a buy round for Enterprise. Blitz a little light on utility, but Miltsy will get a consolation AWP after losing out on that previous one. As Blitz actually picks up the first kill. Alright. Enterprise. Mattis finds a second. Mangus a third. Have we been waiting all this time for this round from Enterprise? Blitz grabs another. It's FPS. Gets cut down. It's a clean round for Enterprise. Alright. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think that 1 shot were either. But hey, the whole team steps up huge and completely changed the tone of the series and this game. Benjamin Ozil, you are Matt's granddad. Ah, well that's nice for you to come out, and again, we do appreciate all of the extended families, which are all 100% definitely authentifiable. That's identifiable, authentic, put together. CSGO, of course, a popular game across a whole bunch of different age groups. As eLive will get a nice couple Mangus and a third 1 shot. They are thrown back in disarray. It wasn't just a fluke from that last round. Enterprise, they're here to fight. Sidey, I really appreciate you being the... I'm glad that you have... you delivered Greg into this world. Oh boy. Oh, Twitch chat. You're doing such a wonderful job of keeping me entertained. See, CSGO is serious business, but when it comes to watching CSGO, well, that's a whole different story. Enterprise, they pick up a second serious round, though, as they've really turned our expectations on their head. That one round, that clean round was so good. Now Blitz and Mattis up to 9 apiece, and while Mattis hasn't been able to perform on the same level as they did in the previous game, they are still looking real good. Honestly, if I'm Mattis, I'm very happy to be enabling the team. Mattis has got the most assists so far. So if you can, push the rest of the team to pick up the slack to get those kills without having them all to be on one player, I would call that something of a win. Here with Jam. I'm glad you're there for your cousin. Mattis, very large extended family who are all big fans of CSGO. Honestly, it's heartwarming to see so many of you folks turning up. I hope you all have a picnic together soon. The one shot, it's down to basic pistol, a couple of deagles. Woof, as Milsey packing in those kills. Yeka, last one standing, does manage to steal the 1 M4. But they get cut down as well. The Mangus comes in. And look at that kill spread on Enterprise. The lowest is 8, the highest is 11. That is a team that have come together as a unit. Trying to figure out how many partners each of our players has got in the chat. Apparently, a few of you were surprises to each other. So that's always fun to see a telenovela developing in the Twitch chat. You folks having a good time? It's wonderful to see. First kill to Enterprise as Mangus gets the second. Yekov somehow doesn't get that kill from behind. One shot are in disarray here. Dating your... The amount of kills that Matt has got in the first map was 35, which was 10 better than anybody on one shot. The team still lost, but Enterprise, they are making a very, very good run through here. 7-2-6, that's 4 in a row. You can see at the top of your screen. Very nicely done indeed. Now, gentle friends, we could be in line for another 3-game series. For anyone who is coming in late, just a quick reminder of what we've got coming up over the course of today. Let's see. Ambush versus Eklock coming up after this series, and Young Ninjas versus Isuba. Anoris and Into the Breach playing on the other stream, that's CCT_EN2. As Mangus, the Mangus, I apologize. Give them the full title. I don't know if they like me called the Mangus, but I like calling them the Mangus. If they don't like it, hopefully they'll let me know. But the Mangus gets the 3K and continues to look very impressive indeed. At this point, it's feeling less like it's going to clutch when Mangus is getting 3K and more like it's who gets the 3K in the round. Because one shot, I don't know what has happened for them, but they seem to have just lost it. I don't know if Enterprise are doing something significantly different that I'm just not picking up on, but one shot have gone from being dominating to being dominated. Mangus is holding up on B. First kill finally going to one shot. They do not do well, I think, when losing the first kill, but now they've got the first 2 kills. Eli gets one back. It's not a completely done deal. Eli moving to reinforce Mangus on the B site. As Blitz actually moving out They might actually catch FPS from behind. I don't know if FPS is going to expect this at all. Well, no, apparently they absolutely did. So, alright. Enterprise now down to 2. They've got a hard choice to make here. Do they defend each site very lightly, which would make a series of 1 versus 4s? Or do they all in and hope for the best? Yeka gets deleted transitioning. Enterprise. They now know where the bomb is, where the fight will be. Sanex is unaccounted for, will be flanking Enterprise shortly. This is surely not going to end well for the Enterprise squad. Pushing in. I really like this from one shot. It's also a great strategy if you're playing paintball, by the way. It's much easier to shoot people in the back than it is shooting directly at them. Mangus is gone. This round is pretty much done. As Sanex drops down the 2. One shot have stopped the momentum of Enterprise just at the end of the half. I don't know if anyone knows Mangus to ask them if they're okay being called the Mangus, but it just feels right. Alright, so coming into our second half, Enterprise certainly heavily motivated here. They have to win to get to our third map. But whether they'll do that remains to be seen. Vertigo will be our decider if we get that far. Both teams below average on Vertigo generally, as One Shot picks up the first kill. Not too shabby, huh? FPS gets another, and, well, Enterprise's slight advantage coming out of the half seems to be very tenuous indeed. Good duel, as FPS and Yeka both get a little clobbered. Alright. Enterprise with very little to lose. They might as well keep on fighting as Blitz not so good with the tracking. Sanex turns around and deletes them. Nice double peek from One Shot. They've got the numbers. They know how to apply those numbers. If you never needed to pay attention in maths class, this is why you do need to. 2 is greater than 1. And 4 is a lot greater. In fact, it's 3. Haha, there you go. Thought I couldn't do basic arithmetic. I'll show you. And Greg will show Eli of the way to the door. It's 8 apiece. And it's anybody's game. Alright, well. All of the partners, all of the grandparents, grandchildren, parents, children, and doctors who delivered. The Greg, I believe, was the one that stuck with me. All of them need your help right now, so please let them know how much you want them to win in the chat. It's 8-8. We're into our second half of game number 2 here in the Pinnacle Winter Series number 3. We are halfway through the regional Swiss stage. 3 wins gets you through to playoffs. 3 losses sends you out of the competition. Both of these teams are 1-1. Alex Fella, Mangus likes to be called the Mangas, the cider. I can see that being a thing. I'm from the region of England where cider is fairly popular, so I can definitely appreciate that. Well, from one of the regions. FPS getting the first kill in for One Shot. And the second as well. Enterprise a force bought here. The Galils are being upgraded. Blitz getting that 1M4. The plant has not been made as of yet. One Shot are still creeping in. As Blitz pretty aggressively looks out and finds the kill. Mattis with 1. Blitz gets the other. They've barely got any health. They can't afford to take a straight fight against Greg, or indeed their doctor. But Greg performs cranial surgery to finish off the job and get one shot out in the lead. Oh, M Active, I'm glad you all are the cousin of Mangus to relay that message, so very much appreciate it. For the one shot, they are looking pretty darn good. They've got themselves all the equipment. Enterprise go for a couple of deagles and the hope that they can catch one shot off guard. Let's see, so Fadep and Sunix, that's an M4, a silenced M4, and a SMG on site. So B site is approachable. FPS getting a little clipped. Enterprise are definitely taking this round fairly seriously. They're putting a lot of time into their maneuvering, or in this case, lack of maneuvering. They're presenting like they're transitioning to A. I think one shot of not really understanding what's... well, I don't know if they don't understand what's going on, but they're not making any kind of moves in response. They're not being baited, if nothing else. There we go. Thank you, Dave OCE and Alex Fella. We need some copy passes up in our Twitch chat. Enterprise and one shot definitely need your energy. Nice pickup. Sunix just walking in and walking out with all the money in the world. One shot, 3 in a row. This should be Enterprise's comeback round if the pattern will hold. Gearwork 92 being warned off of the weekday drinking a cider. I didn't realize that was a thing. I have to admit I'm not deep into those cider drinking circles, but for one shot, they certainly tasted the sweet nectar of victory in these last 3 rounds. No, 4 rounds in a row, actually. Counting in the first half as well. FPS continues to be an absolute menace. Firing in blind. Just knows where people are likely to be. Miltsy does at least get one back. Light is asking... I don't know if I'm being memed on here, but I will answer the question. That is with 35 kills on the first map. Definitely, you know, been strong on this one, but not outstanding in the same kind of way. Actually, yes. Thank you, Marquettes. I'll let you guys answer in the chat rather than answering the same question over and over. As eLive says, well, howdy, neighbor. It's mighty fine to see you. FPS is on the roam. I do wonder if Mass is getting 35 kills might make some headlines somewhere. I think it's much more likely if Enterprise actually win the series. It's not much to say this player did amazing and then their team lost. Kev asking which country is the best cider. Well, Fadet will have the best D-cider. Haha! That's pretty good. I thought that as I was saying it. As eLife is cut down, Hope, as well as cider, is not in great supply here for Enterprise. Well, boy, oh boy. Enterprise, the Slovakian squad, ranked 81st. Definitely underdogs here against One Shot, ranked 36th. Of course, One Shot played with Lost DF before in place of Get Yeka. But Yeka doing pretty fine on the return back to the main squad. Of course, their coach also did pretty well as well. Or maybe there'll be a return to playerhood in their future. One Shot get the first kill against Enterprise, who were trying their darndest but it ain't coming together. Sonic's gonna knock on wood, though it gets a little bit damaged back in return. Dave would prefer if Enterprise took the energy instead of their paycheck. Well, that's up to you, I suppose, isn't it? Alex Feller here for One Shot. And it must be One Shot fans must be pretty pleased with what they're seeing right now. Enterprise, they're really not being present in this half at all. No rounds 1 to 4 for One Shot. This is looking very much like a 2-0 series. Again, One Shot. Keeping an eye out for Sonics, the Ukrainian player. Rest of the squad from Russia. Lovely to see them playing together. Especially at times like these. Eli round the corner, wins out the fight against Greg somehow, but FPS will throw cold water on that play immediately. The Mangus is the last one standing, and nope, nothing doing. One Shot up to 12. They could even have a flawless CT half for Enterprise. I wish I was able to think up some better Enterprise jokes. All the ones I can think of are Star Trek jokes, which I'm not sure are really going to land here on the CSGO stream. Utara fan asking, how is it possible for Enterprise to be this bad? They weren't bad though in the first half. The first half was really even. I don't really know what's happening here in the second half. Enterprise are back on the bye, but their T side definitely doesn't seem to be their best. Ah, Kev Botix, you're over in Germany. Oh, I hope things are going well in Germany today. For Enterprise, things need to go very, very well indeed. Mattis does grab the first kill, but again, Mattis with a self-imposed, very, very high bar to reach. Nothing Zappa's asking what happened to Enterprise who are playing so much better. Again, I don't know. They just seem to have fallen to pieces here on the T half entirely. I mean, this round is potentially salvageable onto the B site. Let's see if Enterprise can finally get something. No! An even trade. Yeko gets another. Enterprise at this point can actually afford to take trades, which has been a rarity for them. Mangus is still alive. The Mangus cometh. He lurks within the mud. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you are taking a dirt nap. And Mangus does it! Yes! Mangus! Hurrah! Nice job. Breaks the losing streak of Enterprise and gets them into the half. All praise the Mangus. Fun to say. I hope that becomes a thing. And also, it's been a real pleasure to be able to cast a few of these different Pinnacle competitions and come across the same players so I can develop my own Maymays for each of them. Gear work, you're washing clothes and playing Stardew Valley. Well, I mean, that will help temper some of the fire of this game, for sure. It's a... Actually, to be fair, I think watching CSGO and playing slower games is probably a good combination. Because you can't, you know, you need something you can start and stop again, so... Shout out to my Stardew Valley farmers. As Enterprise find the first kill... All hail the Mangus. All rally behind Mangus's previous round performance. This has been, I think, the well, from Enterprise and for Enterprise fans, they're hoping this is the watershed moment for Enterprise that will start to turn their fortunes around. 5 rounds in a row for One Shot have really made this a tough game to come back from. Enterprise, they've got the tools they need. Gearworks saying they haven't got a good footing this half. I absolutely agree. I think getting a win here, a second win, would really help change that though. Vader, nice positioning. Catches Enterprise off guard, but not for too long. Xynix from Ukraine gets knocked down. Enterprise are still in. They've still got the bomb on the site. Yeka and Grek are coming. The 2Gs. Let's get one. It's time to duel. Let's see if Elive can pull it off, and they can. Enterprise are still in with a shot, getting back onto double digits. They have 2 in a row, and now they have their footing in the half. Whew. Excessive Unit, I'm glad you're here for the Mangus as well. Oh my gosh, Oreo McFloat, what a great choice. Humongous. I am definitely writing that down in my notes. That's such a good shout. Humongous and all hail the Mangus. Honestly, I really hope they like being memed on here. Because, honestly, I would hope it's received in the spirit it's given, which is that with much love. And also, it's just really fun to say Mangus's name. Benjamin is actually Mangus's great-granddad. And saying something... Oh, I didn't read the end of that message. Oh, oof. Maybe not, maybe not. Alex Fella, oh, thank you for supplying some Enterprise jokes. Hewlett Pickards, nice. Shout out to my Star Trek fans in the audience as well as my Stardew Valley fans. I mean, I feel like I'm sort of letting the side down by not making Star Trek jokes with Enterprise playing, but it just feels too obvious. I feel like I should prepare like 1 joke per series. That's my limit. One Shot find the first kill on their pistol round. Oh, don't do this to me, Enterprise. Milsey gets 2. One Shot are still firing back really hard, but... Oh, my heart. Enterprise do secure the round. As, yes. A little bit of team damage from before. I think spirits are very high at this point. We've definitely seen players do it sometimes, shooting their teammates just to, you know, let off a little bit of steam, especially when it doesn't matter. Dave OCE here for Enterprise. Yeah, I don't know quite why the Enterprise joke was made about printers, because we don't really have a lot of printer-associated stuff in this game, but I appreciate someone trying. Brett getting the first kill, but FPS trading back straight away. Enterprise still in with a chance here in One Shot's buy round. Equal equipment across the board. Very light utility across everywhere. Advantage made by Enterprise. As Cynix and the rest of One Shot, they're winning out these duels. Elive up in Palace, and Mangus, they're looking to try and get a pick off here, but I don't think it's going to happen. One Shot are playing too careful. The bomb defuse comes in. Mangus does find one. Defuse being attempted again. Mangus is coming, but Mangus is thrown out of the club. One Shot, a little tight on the defuse, but they get it anyway, and they're up to 13, close to ending this one. Kev, there's an Angus steak joke in there with Mangus. You're right. Mangus's name is infinitely usable. I'm going to try and use Humongous if this happens, because a lot of time if someone gets a multi-kill, it will end up in the clips. So I hope Mangus gets to see that. Humongous. Let's see if they can do it. Mangus on scout duty along with Eli. One shot. Very, very comfortable where they are. They're going to have coming into the rolling into the round, spending down to just a few dollars left in the bank. And very much do appreciate you guys in the Twitch chat helping out with the jokes. Twitch chat definitely, generally has got a pretty good sense of humor overall. So it's much appreciated. Enterprise playing this one out pretty carefully, leaving the bomb behind and also not going for any big engages. Oh, there we go. The Enterprise copy pastors have suddenly come to life. Let's see if that affects them. If they can feel that energy being channeled into their veins. Let's see. Going to look in for a pincer. Mangus is dropped. But Miltsy does pick up the kill in trade. They might even be able to steal the gun as well. As Blitz gets the kill face to face, but doesn't get to hold on to the AK for any amount of time. They see the power, they feel our energy, they know that we're watching. It's down to one last gun remaining. Eli takes a shot, but misses. One shot. Apparently, while they felt the energy, they need even more. Have you got it within you, dear friends in the chat, to flood them with all the hope for Enterprise? This is do or die for them. They will get to play again tomorrow, whatever happens, but they will not get to play a third map unless they are energy infused. Can definitely see some fans of One Shot in the chat, which makes sense. They have been performing very well. Nazis and multi get a good trade as One Shot. These rare rounds, Enterprise somehow come out firing in all cylinders and just run over One Shot. I think we need to be seeing more of that. I suppose the situation is that if Enterprise always went hyper aggressive, it would just never work. But when Enterprise do come out and start whacking down kills, Mattis with a 3k there means Enterprise are back in with a prayer. Zappers, 2015 Big Chungus, 2018 Among Us, 2022 Mangus. I love it. This is what is required. The creativity, the energy, the positivity is needed for Enterprise. They've turned this ship around. One Shot coming into the round with a little bit of a spotty buy. They are spending everything they have. So Enterprise, if they win out here, they should be able to get up to equal again. Oh yes, I will check in on the odds just because sometimes they do get stuck. I'm not sure there's actually a tremendous amount we can do about them if they do, but I will check in as Miltsy grabs 2. Enterprise having to pay in blood for every single kill they get, every single bit of ground. Mangus and Miltsy on the site. Mangus getting a little chewed up. It's 2v2. FPS gets another on the scout. It's down to eLive. Definitely a name that does invite rather obvious jokes about being dead. But eLive is what is required. No! Wait, the plant wasn't even made? Of course, I didn't even notice one shot had control of the bomb there. My bad. One shot though, one step away. That energy, that spirit bomb for Enterprise is needed now more than ever. I'm speaking to you from the future. I hope that you have got what it takes in the past. I can see that folks are here for a third map. It's going to be a pretty big ask. Enterprise now have a much tougher round to face down, and one shot. They are a Russian-Ukrainian squad, not French. Therefore, they don't know the meaning of mercy. 2 in for Mattis, though. As fortunately, that helps me move past that particularly terrible joke. Plant is good. Enterprise, keep hope alive. Enterprise fans need to keep pouring that energy on. Fuel for the engine of Enterprise. Be that dilithium for them. Blitz gets 1. Fadette gonna get out of dodge. This will not be the end of the line for Enterprise. And there we go. That little bit of energy was all that was required. 2 more rounds. Enterprise get to overtime. They are doing it for the chat. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what is happening. I may have received a message. I may not have, but I may have received a message from Enterprise saying they need the chat to go wild for them if they're going to win this series or this game and get to game 3. They know you want to see it. One shot Enterprise. Let's build a totem. One shot says to get the boost up and get the surprise shot in. But this is not what Enterprise are right now. One shot, they've gambled on mid, but Enterprise have gone to the north. Thanks, Zappers. I love this cast and it feels like you have real friends. Honestly, I've loved the chat today. It's been wonderful. Oh my god. Fadette finds 2. That could be it for Enterprise. Hopping out of a window and onto the path of the one shot. Enterprise, they could still plant on B, but they've lost the confidence in their play. They've got to go forwards. This is over if they don't. It might be over if they do. Everything is going to hell. 2 versus 5. Enterprise, it seems like the tougher the round is, the better they do. But when they're on a round against a limited buy from one shot, they find themselves in a whole world of pain. The plant is made. The stage is set. Will Enterprise have what it takes? 2 versus 5. One team enters. One team leaves. The eLive is good. Mangus in support, scrambling to get back into position as one shot cover calling! eLive does it! Gets 3! It's down to Greg versus eLive, but Greg finds them and deletes them. They're onto the bomb and one shot after a hell of a showing. Get the defuse with seconds left to spare. One shot, take the series. Enterprise, with even all the energy in the world, they still could not do it. Unfortunately, all this shouting has also woken up my co-caster pause. So I don't feel quite as bad about bringing him in for the post-game breakdown. If he looks confused, it's because he just woke up. Still a really, really amazing game there. Obviously, dramatically enhanced by the Twitch chat, but honestly, I think that's a really good show from both teams. We will be seeing more of them again coming up tomorrow. But for today, as well, let pause, go back to sleep again. What a good kitty. Let's take a look at how things have played out. So again, Nexus and Entropiq Prague, they are both officially eliminated. So we are moving in with One Shot, getting themselves up there as one of the 2-1 teams. There will of course be, there will of course be a whole bunch of teams getting eliminated over the course of the days, but just a quick reminder of what's coming up very, very soon. So let's see. So today we have got Ambush and Eklot coming up next, and then Young Ninjas versus Asuba. So I'm going to get out of here so we can get ready for that third game. Thank you guys so much for being such a tremendous audience. Hope you'll be just as supportive for our third and fourth games today. I've been Counterfeit Cast. I'll see you again down the line.